Jim. Who is that coming?
It's Jim. You gotta let me see.
It's the dressmaker. Who are you?
Just abruptly interrupting the. Are we really starting here?
Yeah.
Woo, this is Candid. It's our bloopers this morning. Hi, everybody. Victoria Baylor, dressmaker.
Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you for
I thought I was
having
going to
me.
be here by myself.
Oh my
I didn't want to
gosh.
cry.
Mr. Jim has been busy working in his workshop, just turning out jackets. Have you you guys been following along with him on? Of course, you're on Instagram.
Instagram, Facebook.
He's posting in all the major sewing groups. You should be seeing like a new jacket and suit every day. That's what Mr. Jim's doing. So anyway, welcome to our show. We know it's been a little time lapse. Things have been a little bit crazy in our world.
Yeah, it has.
But you know, we love to reconnect with you guys. So we're going to start this show actually by just answering a question that I received recently, Mr. Jim and I. And we'll kind of talk about it because we like to think about the full scope of answering questions with you. So here is our question. And our question comes from the fabulous Golden Seal. Mrs. Seal is Golden. I hope you don't mind that I said your name. She's a wonderful viewer of ours, and her question is, she said, first of all, she wants to say she's an avid watcher. Thank you, Golden. We appreciate you watching us and a follower. But her question is, I am starting a sewing business from home myself, and my husband found a client for me. The only thing is the client lives in Ohio, and she lives in New York.
New York City.
That's right. So they're kind of, they're good. Is Ohio, how far is it? I'm geographically challenged. That's a good bit of distance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's like Midwest.
It's in the central
Ohio. And then, of course, the East Coast is New York. So her question is it possible to have a long-distance business with clients away from your hometown? And if so, how do you make it work? And then her idea, she says, because I would think fitting would be an issue. But my husband feels like I can do it, but I'm not sure. Shout out to her husbands for the vote of confidence. That's very sweet. You must have some really great abilities. You got your hubby behind you. And then she just asked, what can you share with me about this? She's asking our opinion. How do you deal with, can you really sew for clients that are in your hometown?
Well,
what are your thoughts on
I
that,
do
sir?
it quite a bit. And a lot of you guys, I know you guys do it because nobody's at your doorstep. Okay. The key issue is to get precise, exact measurements. It's all about measurements. Now, how do you do that? Well, for one, you need good body measurements. That's number one. Secondly, what I always tell people, and it depends on what you're making again, is what are you making? Okay? Because if it's, for argument's sake, a pair of pants, a pair of slacks for whoever, you need the waist and the seat are the most important measurements on that. Then you need a length. Then you need how wide is the leg going to be. Best way to do that is to have them measure something that they like to fit, not just measure any old thing.
And even with that being said, I oftentimes have my clients just bring a pair of pants.
Yeah, they can bring
like something they have that and it's a good kind of reference. I totally agree with you. Yeah.
I have a client who's is another city. And what he does is, I've been doing this has just been alterations, but he'll send me a pair of pants the way he likes to fit, because he lost a lot of weight, and I just duplicate it.
Very helpful.
See?
So I think, and Mr. Jim and I we always like to play good cop, bad cop with situations. So this is a very good question for one, and it's a very, to some degree, it can be a complex answer just depending upon what you sew, like what Mr. Jim says. So if you're working and doing things that are unfitted, like we have a friend we know that makes gorgeous loosely fitted jackets, anybody can buy those because it's not really relegated on a specific number. You have 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of ease, perfect. A lot of people fit in that. But the closer something fits to someone, that's when it sometimes can get a little tricky, especially when you're working with non-knits. So it really comes down, just like Mr. Jim says, at least kind of the way I think about it, measurements, let's see, client body measurements, type of garment, and I had a couple other notes, fabric type, and then it really boils down to the comfort of the individual that's sewing it. So like for me specifically, I have a rule. I don't sew a ton of fitted stuff for people that I can't fit personally. I'm a hands-on, technical, like to touch my clients kind of person. But I do make dresses and stuff like that I can ship that are more, you know, loose and fit a variety of body measurements. So I do, yeah.
And something else that you could do also is have them take a picture of themselves.
Yeah.
A picture always is a very good thing because you see the sculpture of their body.
Yep.
Whereas you're guessing at it because they could be short-waisted,
Yep.
long-waisted. They could have a lot here and less there.
Absolutely.
Right? So with a picture, you can kind of see these things. And it, like I say, it depends on your comfort level. And because you're starting a business at home and your husband was kind enough to get you this long-distance client, tell him to work on the locals where you can find them.
That's true too, and he's absolutely right. So there's, to answer, like in general, there's no surefire way. You want to just use your best, wisest judgment. And sometimes when you're starting out, you know, you do want to be careful not to be too ambitious and take on stuff that you don't feel comfortable. And then one way to just kind of dip your toe in the water is grab a friend, make something for them that is local. Fit. So we've discussed in previous, and Mr. Jim and I are in complete agreement. Sewing is comprised of, or making garments from, there's the sewing aspect, there's the fitting aspect. You have to become an aficionado like at both of them. You have to be really good, and fit sometimes end up being the trickiest part, even out the sewing.
That's right.
Because sewing's more mechanical. Fit takes a little bit of knowledge, experience. You're totally right. I look at people and I see posture.
Sure.
Like, how do they slant sideways? Some people have high rears, some people are low in the front. Like, they're not all straight. And when you were talking about arms, are they meatier up here in the bicep?
Right.
They might need a little bit more space. So maybe there's a way of using videos to kind of get around that, or some other stuff. But you want to just be wise. You're totally right. Because there's a lot involved in fitting. So yeah. Really, really great question, Golden. We appreciate you for asking.
You know?
No, you got anything else?
And basically, make sure your craft
Here we go.
is sufficient.
This is just like, do it right.
You bet you.
Not you, Golden, but just like everybody in general.
Your craft has to be sufficient.
That's right.
Because when people are spending their money, they want a good product. They really do.
Yeah.
Because that's how the business grows, through word of mouth.
Yeah.
Not always who comes to you, because people refer and they refer when they refer. So with that said, hone your craft real well.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've been sewing for, I think, or at least for professionally with clients for maybe 15 or so years. And when I first started, it had to be the most nerve-wracking thing to start, because you are dealing with different body types and different types of garment. I don't know, Golden, if you're gonna sell just one type, it might be super easy to do it. But like with mine, with fluctuating with formal wear, I mean, it went from very fitted to different. It just got a little nerve-wracking. But project by project, like Mr. Jim says, make sure that the craftsmanship is impeccable, and always create fail-safes. So let me interject this. I'm a muslin girl when it comes to sewing with clients. Even if I don't sew one for myself, I always create something so that my client can kind of get a visual what it looks like, and they can kind of get a sense of the fit, and I can make any adjustments to the final. So for me, it helps to serve as a barrier and kind of as a way of helping them see where things are going, and then helping us as a guardrail against any issues. So maybe that might be it. I've seen people send muslins in the mail. They're like, try this on, let me see you by video,
a lot of people do
try
that.
it on, this and that, looks great, I'll send you the final. So there's a middle line way of doing it. So.
As you guys know, I had been asked through the years, what about my sewing? And one time I had several lines out through the years.
And these are lines of clothing, right?
This is a line of clothing that I did
mass-produced?
when I had a boutique.
Okay.
And I do everything one of a kind. And I found that the way I do my things, they're one of a kind. So it puts that whoever purchases my garment in a very special place, because nobody else will have it. You know, when you buy something retail, if you don't make it yourself, they've made multiples of them. And women look at women.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I started a line of my classic look. It's called Classic is Forever Classic. And you know, I've been posting and showing bits and pieces. A lot of people have been wanting to buy it, and I tell them, hold on, it's for the fall. See? And I finished the piece yesterday, and I want to show you guys what I do. You know, who maybe you hadn't looked online to see what I do, but This is my latest piece.
And if you missed it, please go sign up for his Instagram because Mr. Jim is putting some fabulous stuff out. It looks really, really good. He made this for me. He just doesn't know it yet. No, I'm joking.
I sure did. But this is my last piece. And this is one of the other keys because people saying how you match everything up. It should be.
It's pretty.
This
it's gorgeous.
pattern is very busy. Very busy. So you have to match it up to where it looks what it is.
That is pretty amazing, especially with this. And it's floral. It's kind of neat. It has this whole, I like this, just motif. It's gorgeous, the colors and everything. And that black background.
This fits you.
Does it fit me? I'm a little short-waisted, narrow-shoulder gal. If we're out of camera focus, we're sorry. We're standing. All right, and I'll bend down and see if it does. Now I do have gorilla-like arms, so they're super long. Ooh, that's fancy. Fancy jacket. Y'all see me? How's it look on me? These are all cute and box. Oh, nice. I love that black. Miss Jim, you gonna make me start sewing some jackets. This is nice. And then look at that. The wow factor, the pop of that lining color. And it feels so good and substantial.
The reason why I want to show this is because I saw a post on Facebook and I tagged it because a lady did something out of upholstery and drapery factory. And people say, wow, I didn't know you could do that. And people say, yeah, I use it all the time. That's what I use. Yeah, this is upholstery fabric. Actually, this one is drapery fabric there. I use this a lot because you get a different look.
Yeah, it feels great.
You get a different look. It's not always heavy. You can get it in different weights and this, that, and the other.
It's actually really soft.
Yeah.
It's very, very soft.
And you find when you make things out of like this, you'll never find them in industry because they're not going through these changes.
That's true.
See?
That's true.
So consider that, you sewers out there. Check out upholstery, drapery fabrics. And let me tell you a good place to find some very unique places. Go to a Goodwill or that type of place because there's always somebody who donated a panel.
Oh, that's true, yeah. And yeah, that's a lot
or
of
it's got a little stain somewhere, but that's a big piece of drapery fabric. You might buy it for $2 or $3.
Because you said you made this out of scraps, right?
Yeah, I made this out of leftovers.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice. Oh, and then just one thing. I'm going to do a shameless plug because I never usually do shameless plugs. Since we were kind of talking about having a sewing business and kind of getting everything straightened out with that. For those that don't know, I did do a course. Yes, I did it a while back ago. It's on how to do sewing consults successfully. And it's geared toward not just doing the consult. So the consult is where it starts with the client. If you have a sewing business, you have to have your processes and everything in order to ensure that, you know, everything goes well. It's not just about making the garment, it's also the business dealing part.
Right.
So I created a really in-depth course. I think it's over like 3.5 hours, something like that. It deals with everything from all the proper paperwork to have, from creating a good business policy, the different personality types you may encounter and how to interact with those. Because a lot of what we do dealing with the public is personality driven. So you have to know how to kind of like navigate that, how to conduct phone calls, answer questions, create disclaimers. Like, it's really in depth. And someone bought it recently and they like sang praises. So sometimes I don't promote enough, but if it's a resource that can help you guys, I want to put it out there. So I will include a link. Please check it out. It's only $29, but it will be well worth that. Its weight in gold. So, and then come get Mr. Jim. When do these go live? When are you selling?
In the fall.
Okay.
It'll be late September, early October.
And these are one of a kind, so keep an eye out.
And they will be signed.
Oh, are we doing like
the
inside pop lining?
Each one. So if Picasso can do it, Gentleman Jim can.
It's a one of a kind.
It's a one of a kind.
So make sure you be on the lookout for that too, and we'll be getting his website up. But anyway, we love you guys.
See you guys later.
Take care. Bye.